Today, I'm going to talk about Cynthia Mandel's 252-pound transformation. Most people, Cynthia, they complain about losing 10 pounds. Cynthia, my guest today, she lost 10 times that. How would you like to have to lose 252 pounds? Well, that's what my guest did. If you think your situation is too hard, I can promise you this. I've known Cynthia for a long time. She's went through way harder than you went through, guaranteed. So I want you to do this. Before we even start, if you know somebody that's overweight, share this podcast with them. If they're ever in Cynthia's shoes, even 50 pounds overweight, 150 pounds overweight, 250 pounds like Cynthia, whoever it is, send it to them, because if I can't help them, my lovely guest here can help them. And so I'm going to talk to Cynthia here in a minute, and so you hear her voice. But unfortunately, for a while, you get to hear my voice, because I'm going to read from my book. Cynthia, why don't you point at the QR code of my book? Your book is up there. My book is right down there, and it's right there. That's my book.
Right here, right there.
Yep, that's it right there.
And that one right there is my book.
Yep, at any time during the podcast, if you like what you hear, you're going to hear more of it in that book. And then if you want to hear Cynthia's story, her QR code's right above her. So scan those.
Right here.
Get our resources, because they'll help you. Okay, Cynthia, you haven't read the book. You will. I promise you a book, an author's book, and you're going to get one. But because you haven't, you've actually lived this program. So I don't care if you read it, because you know me and you know this is my voice. But I'm going to read this.
Okay.
And as I read it, it's going to how do I say this? It's going to offend some people, but it's not meant to be offended. It's not meant to offend. It's meant to bring to light to something that needs to be fixed in your life. So I'm going to read from chapter number 2 of my book, Kindness Isn't Nice, Fat Isn't the F Word. I'm going to start here. Page number 3. So let me make something clear before we go any further. If a word in this book triggers you, that's on you, not me. I can have a clear, unemotional conversation about your health without melting down over a syllable. But if one word fat offends you more than the visceral fat choking your organs, then the problem isn't my language, it's your mindset. And here's your warning. You're going to hear the word fat a lot in this book. Get used to it. But by the time you finish your 40-day fix, that word will have no power over you. It'll mean nothing, because you'll know it doesn't define you anymore. People act like the word itself is a crime. No, the real crime is ignoring the reality that's killing you while pretending your feelings are the bigger issue. If the word fat makes you flinch, it's because you've already agreed with it. That's not me hurting you. That's you exposing yourself to yourself. And until you face that, nothing changes. Let me be clear. I don't call people fat. I'm not here to intentionally hurt people's feelings or throw cheap insults. If you're overweight, I'm not mocking you. I'm mocking the lie that says you're stuck that way forever. That's a big difference. I don't attack people. I attack the excuses and the mindset that keeps people chained. That is a segment from my book, The 40-Day Fix. You can get it right there. But Cynthia, okay, here's the question. First of all, I already said this. You've lost 252 pounds. That's the equivalent of 2 small women you've lost. And when you first heard the word fat, because I know this, if anybody has been wounded from words, particularly that word, it's you. Whenever I first met you, I remember having a conversation with you. You said, Don, I've changed so much. When I wouldn't text you back immediately as your coach, you said, I would typically throw you to the dogs, but you've grown so much as a person. So whenever you first heard the word fat and now you hear the word fat, how much difference is that word affected you because of your growth? Because you've had radical growth. You don't make excuses. You used to be a victim. Now you're a victor. Talk about that.
Well, when I was younger, like a kid, it used to make me cry. Then as I got older, I'd be like, yeah, they're right. I am fat. I weigh 430 pounds. What other word is there for you? So I just took it on as my identity instead of letting it affect me and saying, oh, you're hurting my feelings. I'm like, yes, you're right. And just to be clear, he always wants to jip me 1 pound. It's 253 pounds. He always wants to take that pound away. And that matters to me.
Yeah. Two-
So
253 pounds. I'm never going to do it again,
253 pounds.
Cynthia.
He never gets it right, but it's okay. We don't care. We love him, and he's great, by the way. So, and it's hard because we are in a society now where everything has to be okay. Like it used to be a while years ago. It used to be, don't be overweight, be healthy. Now it's like, okay, you can be fat, and as long as you're happy. Well, you can be happy and fat and die, or you could be happy and thin and live. So, part of my story is that losing the weight, I had something tragic happen, like I almost died. If I had been the weight I was before I started with Don, I never would have lived. My body wouldn't have been strong enough to rejuvenate, to be able to learn all the things I needed to learn again. I never would have made it. So thank you, Don.
You're welcome. And I know this for sure. Obviously, I would say this. If anybody throws a cheap insult to you anyway, if they offend you on purpose, don't take the offense. They're an idiot. So if they want to call you fat or they want to be mean to you, then you're overweight, who cares? I feel sorry for them because they're stupid. So that's number one. Number two is don't let it offend you if they're trying to help you either. Say, hey, we got to get this fat off your body. Fat's not a bad word. It's just, and actually what's wild, Cynthia, you know this. I mean, we've been programmed to overeat. I mean, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and most food that you ate to get overweight really isn't food and name only. It's not real food, I was just looking, like if like cereal, everybody loves cereal. I love cereal, but Fruit Loops, that's not food. Lucky Charms is not food. It's no more. It's just a pretty box with a nice label on it that has some that the food has been fortified with folate, and it's not food. It's no more food. Just because something has calories in it, Cynthia, doesn't mean that it's food. You know that right now.
That's correct.
There's real food. God makes food. I'll give you an example. Like paraffin wax, your wax candles. That a paraffin wax provides no nutritional nutritional value, but it contains 255 calories per ounce. I mean, so next time you're hungry, go get that wax candle and start chewing on it. It would kill you slowly. Gasoline literally has 300 calories worth of energy per ounce. That will absolutely kill you. So I'm not saying do that. So a lot of stuff that has made American fat is as food in name only. It's not real food. And how your body, and I didn't plan on talking about this, but I will right now. I'm going to make this very brief. Whenever you eat food, your body wants nutrients. And so as long as you feed it junk, it's going to keep on screaming for nutrients. That's why you keep staying hungry. Your body says, give me nutrients. Okay, that's it for my tangent on that. Okay, so Cynthia, I know this for sure, though. You answered the question very well. But I don't think, and I did say this, if anybody does intentionally offend you, you never take the bait. If they try to intentionally offend you, I'm not going to be offended. If they're doing it on accident, don't offend it. Jesus offended everybody. He didn't mean to. And he never backed down by what he said because his heart was right. And so whenever you read my book and you get offended, don't get offended because my heart is for you. I want you to get in the best shape of your life. Okay. Next question, Cynthia.
Yes, sir.
At your heaviest.
Uh-huh.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Jesus.
How much were you negotiating with your health to justify staying comfortable?
That's a really good question because I don't think I negotiated anything. I was in what I call, I don't care. So it didn't matter to me. I was so down on myself and life in general that I didn't care if I lived or died. So one of the things that I tell my clients is that the weight on the scale has nothing to do with the weight on the scale. It's a signal that something needs to heal inside of you. Because it's not, there's the old saying, it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. So
Good.
when you have trauma, when you have any type of stress, no matter who you are, people do lots of different things. Mine was food. It could have been alcohol, could have been this or that. You're trying to cover something that is bothering you so that you don't feel that. And you're taught that as a survival mode. So you think that that's normal, even though it's not. And you know in your mind it's not normal, but the back of your brain thinks it's normal because that's the pattern you've given yourself. So with anything, if you want to do something different, you have to break the pattern you're on. Like if you're in a traffic jam on a highway, the only way to fix it is to sit in the traffic jam or reroute yourself. You have to go on Waze and it says rerouting, because it's taking you away from what's no good. So that's what you have to do with your mind, your food, and your heart, is reroute it to what's going to be good for you. And it takes time. We all want the quick fix. We live in a microwave world. We all want to lose 100 pounds in 2 days. Hello, that's not happening. So it's a step-by-step change. And we all want to be, I'm going to, like everybody, I know we're going to get things about this, Don, these new GLP-1s that everybody's taking. You don't realize what it's doing to your system. It was made for a diabetic. It's made to make your pancreas and your insulin level get absorbed. If you have a normal pancreas and a normal insulin, no insulin resistance, you're destroying the system that God made. And eventually you're going to be sick. You're going to gain the weight back when you stop taking it. And you have no idea what you've done to your body long term. The only way to lose weight is to change your mind, change your food, and change your activity.
That's facts. That's facts. What really sad, I know so many people taking GLP-1s, and I would say that the biggest problem with it that I know, I'm not a doctor, is this.
Me neither.
Whenever you reinforce, and it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or not, you speak well on the subject, but as an authority, I'm not an authority on GLP-1s. I am an authority on nutrition when it comes to body composition and fat loss. And and how you learn how to do something. So if you learn how to take a shot and that's going to make you lose the weight, you're probably not going to want to take that shot long term. So eventually you have to learn how to eat right. And unfortunately, most people who take the GLP-1, they don't change their eating habits, Cynthia. You know that. They just eat the same stupid food they always have. And so if they would actually do the first principles, start out with what we know, the protein first, do the 40-day fix while they're on it, at least while they were taking the shot temporarily, they would have a foundation to build on. But if you're losing weight on Cheetos and ice cream and taking a GLP-1, whenever you get off the GLP-1 and you continue eating Cheetos and ice cream, what's the logical thing that's going to happen? You're going to gain all that weight back. And so please, if you're taking a GLP-1, no condemnation here, but get on the fix, get on the 40-day fix, because it's the foundation of nutrition. And that way, at least you maintain muscle mass while you drop the weight. And then whenever you get off it, you can actually build on this system. Cynthia, now we're going to talk about this.
Go ahead, Don.
You've actually been on this program longer than what it's designed to. In fact, I don't think you've ever been off it. Right now, Cynthia is so funny because I see her, she sends me her nutrition every day in the form of macronutrients I look at. And just within the last month and a half, she's actually lowered her protein grams lower than what I would normally do it. But it's because she's wanting to eat more of God's foods because of some health consequences she has going on that she's overcoming like crazy, by the way. But literally this woman who's not an advocate for quick fixes because she's done them all. She just said that GLP-1 is destroying stuff. She don't like that idea. She has completely rejected quick fixes. It's all about, for Cynthia, it's all about discipline now, which is completely different than old Cynthia, guaranteed. You were disciplined in some areas, but not nutrition. Now it's like, when you're getting more.
I was disciplined with a donut. That's what I was.
That's right. That's right. You were disciplined with a dozen donuts, I'm sure.
That's probably
but over the course of the day, I'm the binger. You weren't the binger. I was the binger.
I grazed.
Yeah, you grazed all day. But my question is this: you've done it forever. You've made the 40-day fix literally your baseline. That's not what it's supposed to be. In fact, you don't want it to be, but it has been because of how important we've talked about the foundation being. How did you move from doing that temporarily to as a lifestyle? I mean, literally, because as you made it the most important thing. That's the only thing I can think of. But you literally did, and only recently have you brought the protein grams down a little bit, where it's still acceptable though. And when I see him, it's like, this is not the Cynthia I know. She's not getting 190 grams of protein a day, but she didn't need to anyway. She didn't need to. She just, but now I see it, and it's like, this is much more normal. But my question is this: how did you move past doing it as a diet and then actually a lifestyle? Because that's what you did. And you could say you're forced to, but you weren't. It was an importance. You literally could have ate while you had all these health consequences. You could have ate freaking Pop-Tarts every day, but you didn't. So what was the change in your mind? Was it just me drilling in your head, or what was it that you knew, I got to do this? You bought the system and you did the system. And even if you didn't want to do the 40-day fix for 4 years, you did. Go ahead, Cynthia. I don't know if that question was long and uncontrolled, but go ahead. Do your best with it.
Usually what you do, my dear. So
I like that.
Here's what I would say is that, yes, like, even this is so on point of what we're talking about. I was in the grocery store the other day, and my people love different things. I'm a sweeter. Like, I love ice cream and cookies and all of that kind of stuff. And I was walking past, because I buy these sugar-free ice pops because they give some liquid and I get dehydrated a little bit. So I like those. And I was walking past the ice cream and I thought, ooh, buy one, get one free, Ben & Jerry's. Look how small they made this thing. It's no more this big. It's only this big. And then I thought, just keep walking. You don't need that. Now, here's the difference. Is before, I would have not said that to myself. See, so it's the change in my mind of, no matter what happens, I'm going to stay on what I know is good for me to eat. Do I do it all the time? No. Do I eat every now and then? Yeah. But instead of eating whole things, I take a bite. Like, I have a small group. Now, don't tell Don I do this, but I have candy in my house for my people.
Oh, gosh, Cynthia, I heard it.
They like to have something while we're doing it. So I have a few different things, but they sit around my house. I never touch them. Now, 5 years ago, this candy would not have existed. I would have had to eat it all and run and buy more before they came. So it's when you change your mind. So we're all looking to, the 40-day fix is fabulous. It's going to give you a foundation. It's going to help you to get some of the points down pat of what you need, the macros, what's good for you, what isn't good for you. You know, yeah, drive through McDonald's and buy a meal that is maybe 2,000 calories, one meal. Maybe it's even more. I don't even know what the calorie count is. You're probably better than that. But if you think about it, you're buying a hamburger, French fries, and a drink for $6. That can't be food. Can't be real food, because a hamburger is not, one hamburger is going to cost you more than $6 if it's real. So keep that in your mind. What am I putting in my body? If I put in my car is a car that does regular gas or premium gas, and I put diesel in it, it will not run. But we think we can abuse our bodies and put anything we want in it and expect it to run properly. It doesn't. That's why we are the fattest, sickest nation ever. So we need to work hard to change our mind, to change what we eat. It's not about looking better. It's not about being thinner. It's about being healthier and eating the food that God intended us to do. Now, the reason that I have more calories now and less protein is because I was only drinking protein shakes. And because I have a stomach issue, I had operations, blah, blah, blah. We'll go into that another time. So my stomach is 1/4 of everybody else's. So I can't fit as much in. So 2 protein shakes gave 72 grams of protein with like 400 and something calories for 72 grams of protein, which is pretty good. So that raised it right up. Now, if I eat a chicken breast of 3 ounces, that's not going to give me a lot of calories. It's going to give me a fair amount of protein, but I needed more calories. I was like 800 or 900, maybe 1,000. So I had to bump it up. So I'm trying to eat more food, drink less protein shakes. I do eat quite a few protein bars. And if you ever want to know which ones the best are, I have the top 4. So I can tell you which ones are the best that are out there. So for me, and then you could pick your own. So I just want my main thing is, and I know I'm talking in circles, but it's important to know what you put in your mouth and to make sure that it's good for you. That's all that you have to be concerned about. If it's processed, don't eat it. If it's on a shelf and can be there till Jesus comes back, don't eat it. If it goes bad and you got to keep it in your refrigerator, that's God's food. You got to eat it in its time. And if it starts to go bad, you don't eat it, obviously. So whole foods, God's food, if it's alive or comes from the ground, eat it. If it's on a shelf, don't.
It's facts. You're just spitting facts. A couple years ago, I loved Twinkies. I don't like to admit it, but I love Little Debbie, and I like Hostess snack cakes. I said it.
Hostess was my favorite.
Hostess, whenever my dad got Hostess snack cakes, I thought, my God, we won the lottery because we get the cheapest snack cakes in the world. So whenever Hostess was in the house, it's like, wow, somebody's gotten a good bonus. My gosh, we're getting real snack cakes. But I got every year for my birthday for a long time, my family would all buy me Twinkie donuts. They always try to derail me. That's what people do. And so they give me Twinkies.
They love you. They want you to be happy.
Yeah, they want me to be fat and happy. But they brought they bought me a box of Twinkies, and they were in my pantry, Cynthia, probably for, I would say, a year. And I didn't eat them. And one day I decided I'm going to get this. They were outdated at least a year. I got them open, and they were still yellow. They were a little bit harder, but they were still edible. I actually ate one. And then I said, okay, I'm just throwing them away because even though they were still good, I was like, I can't eat these things. That's even worse. You know what I'm saying? The sponge was a little bit more chewy than normal. But the fact that it wasn't full of mold means it was not food. I guess there's two schools of thought. Something that would preserve like that would preserve your body. Maybe we could go down that rabbit hole.
But it doesn't. Not the same.
Yeah, thank you for being the scientific.
Not the same preservatives, babe. It's totally different.
Okay,
Totally
Cynthia. I have it your way. I was hoping I could have some Twinkies after this. Okay, question for you,
If you
Cynthia.
want some Twinkies, be my guest. But here's the thing, and all kidding aside, guys, okay? Every now and then to have something as a treat is okay because we're human. We like to feel better. We like to do this. It's not what you do every now and then that matters. It's what you do every day. So keep that in mind. Our goal is, we kid around, we joke around. Our goal is to make you healthy and fit. Everybody's fit is different. Okay. I weighed 430 pounds. So if I weigh 430 pounds, I am never going to be a swimsuit model. I never really wanted to, so it worked out perfectly. But when you weigh that much for that long, you have tons of skin. And I've had too many situations where no doctor is going to be like, yes, come on my operating table. Let me do 9 hours of surgery on you right now. So I have to live with it. That's part of who I am now. It took time for me to realize that, but you have to love yourself enough to be the best you can. Would I like to not have skin everywhere? Thank you, Jesus. You can just come down and go, and it'll all go away. But until that happens, I have to get okay with it. So love who you are, improve yourself every day. And that's where it's at. It's about being happy. It's about being healthy and fit. And it's not about being a bodybuilder. Some of Don's people are bodybuilders. Some of you may want to be bodybuilders. I'm talking to the people that are struggling. I'm talking to the people that think that they can never achieve the goal that they're looking for. Like, I never really tried to diet for many, many years. I was like, you weigh 430 pounds. You know how long it's going to take you to lose that weight? Forget it. Don't even bother. Then when I started to lose the weight, I had gastric bypass surgery. Similar to we talked about the GLP-1s. I literally surgically altered myself and gained almost all the weight back after that. So if you can surgically alter yourself and still gain weight back, what does that tell you? You have to change your mind. The mind is where it starts and the body will follow. I'm done. Go ahead, Don.
That's facts. A lot of people use health issues to excuse themselves for responsibility of their health. You use them as a reason to take more responsibility. Why did you shift? What was your shift? Was it because you didn't want to die? What was it?
Well, I always used to want to die. I used to
Mm.
wake up and go, really? Did I wake up again? And even when I woke up from the coma, I thought, what? I have to learn to do all these things again. I'm like, okay, God, why? Why did you save me? And he made it very clear why he did. He made it clear that I have a testimony. I am here to help as many people as possible because there's a lot of trauma out there. There's a lot of people that have come from abused homes. There's a lot of people that have abused marriages, abused work, abused themselves. Some people have, trauma is different for each person. Like somebody can be come from a great home and be traumatized because one of my clients says this, and you know who they are. They said, I was in a car when I was 14 years old, and my father came to pick me up from school. And being a 14-year-old girl, what do? We talk, 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 talk. And he looked at her and he said, do you ever stop talking? Right there at 14, her brain said, stop talking, shrink back, you're not important. That trauma followed her till she was in her 40s. The father
Wow.
didn't mean anything by it. It wasn't an intention. It wasn't like what happened to me, where my father intentionally did bad things to me, where
Yeah.
I was in institutions where they intentionally did bad things to you. That was totally different. People sometimes can traumatize you and not mean it.
Mm.
So it's all what we take inside and how we have to recognize it and say, is this God's word? Is this real? Is this really who I am and what it is? And it's a process. So you have to recognize where things are and work to heal them. And then the food will follow. But start taking care of yourself. Like I tell my, clients, I have a client right now that probably weighs about 320, maybe. And one of my only men clients, he's really sweet. He goes, will you work with me even though I'm a man? I'm like, of course, I don't care. So he said, Ma, like Don just said to me today, so funny. He goes, you need to get more steps. Your steps are really low, which they have been all week, really, really low. Because I've been working on a couple of things and I don't move. So I was said to this morning when he said that to me, I said, you know what? He's right. I need to make sure I take a break, go outside, walk to the corner, and walk back. So it's maybe 500 or 600 steps. But if you do that a couple of times a day, they add up. Plus, you're out of the regular steps of running around. So it doesn't have to be a marathon. You don't have to be in the gym for an hour. You don't have to be you can do little things to build the momentum to get you where you want to go.
That is correct. It's called what you just said there. The school of thought has changed in exercise as far as it used to be. Exercise is a particular cardio. Let's do 30 minutes on a treadmill, 30 minutes on a stair climber, whatever it is. And then the rest of the day you sit on a desk. That's so unhealthy. It's better than nothing. But a better solution would be what you just said. Get up and walk 500 steps. Walk to the, you know, the walk to the front mailbox and back, in front of your house or whatever. You walk. If you just walked 5 minutes an hour, you'd walk 7 to 10,000 steps in a day. So it's not really that hard. It's pretty easy. It's just doing that. But that's actually better than sitting on the treadmill and walking for 30 minutes at one time. It's called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and that's the biggest chunk of calories you burn during the day. So if you work out for an hour in the gym and you get on the treadmill and you work for 20 minutes, you've been in there for an hour and a half, and then you don't do anything the rest of the day. That's not as good as what you just said there. Even though you feel like, I'm not doing anything. No, you're doing way more than that person on the treadmill. Okay, next question. What was the moment you realized that your comfort food was actually your biggest enemy?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. I guess I always knew in the back of my mind that obviously eating junk food is not healthy for you, but I didn't realize how it was connected until I really started to work on healing myself. You were a big part of it because when I first started working with Don, I was one of those, you can never eat a carb and you can't eat any fruit and you can't eat that. Nobody got fat from an apple. Okay. So, but we're in that mindset. So the macros really helped me, knowing that protein first and doing the fat and the carbs and mixing it up. That really, really helped me. And it's all about learning what works for you. We're not one size fits all. That was the thing that I loved the most about working with Don is that he didn't care that I was never going to be a swimsuit model or an Olympian, or a Mrs. Universe or whatever they call them. And he meets you where you are. I meet you where you are. We're here to help you grow, get fit, get the life that you never thought you'd have. If you would have told me 10 years ago, A, I'd be the size I am now. B, I'd be as healthy as I am. Even with all of the other health problems that I've had, I'm healthier than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm fitter than I've ever been in my entire life. I would have never believed that. So it's a process. And I would say probably when I started with you is when I really started realizing the differences. And when I started healing my mind more than worrying about what I was eating, that's when things changed.
Wow. I will tell you this, Cynthia. This is honest. I am so proud of you. It's unbelievable how proud I am of you because you just didn't lose 252 pounds. You changed. I mean, it's the lifestyle.
What's wrong with him? 253 pounds, not
yes.
252.
This is here. I try to give you a compliment, and I'm off by 1 minute or one calorie or one. See, I don't even know what I'm up by. I'm so flustered now. 1 pound, and I get beat up. I'm seriously. I'm so proud of you. There's a thing in just that we know about. It's called first principles, and if you get first principles right, you get the foundation right. You can build off it. And what you just said there was exactly what I've been teaching you since day one. Protein's the most important macronutrient. And you said it almost verbatim better than I did. And that is amazing because with that's been drilled in your head so many times. And when I hear you talk, it's like, my gosh, Cynthia, you know this stuff. It's built in you and it's never going out of you now. Well, I remember whenever you first started, you were addicted to the scale. I told you to throw that blanking thing away. But you were addicted to the scale. You didn't know anything about nutrition. You just trusted the system. You seen the results I got, and you just kept going. But now I tell people this all the time: there's head knowledge and there's heart knowledge. I've never said that to anybody, by the way, but I'm saying it to you now. There's head knowledge, there's heart knowledge. It's literally
got in for me, people. You heard him, right?
Did you say that, Brian? What did you say?
Head, heart. Yes, I did say it, but not those words. Go ahead.
I love that though. The deal is, regardless, my wife gives me words all the time, and I'll say it right after, and I think this is the greatest. She said, "Donna just said that." I said, "Wow, I'll take credit for it." I feel like you mind my thoughts, but it's amazing to me because it's in you. There's a difference between it's in you so much that even if you get derailed, you're going to come right back to that standard. And that's the difference. I always tell people this. It bothers me whenever people leave me as a coach before it's settled in them. Because I want them to stay with me because you're buying my competence. Whenever you're with me, your connection to me, I'm connected to the truth right here, this book and the Bible. I'll give the Bible too. I may as well give you the Bible too. I'm connected to this truth. And this is in me. And because it's in me, no matter how far I slide down the hill, I'll always know what first principles are. And that's what you said, Cynthia. You said it better than me. And I can't even say, I'm so proud of you. It's unreal.
Yes,
I'm so happy. Anyway, so I think actually the last two questions that I had here, you've already answered. And so whenever you start talking, you just like, okay, I'll just kick that question off. I'll kick that question off. I'll kick that question off because you just answer them. it's almost like, wow, did you read my script? Because you said before, what question are you asking me? I said, Cynthia, you'll do fine. And you did, because you answered all my questions like you read my mind. I guess I'm not going to, no self-deprecating humor. I'm not going to say that. Here's the deal. This is my final statement. Okay. Cynthia is the evidence. 253 pounds, one more pound, because she stopped negotiating and started executing. And that's what the 40-Day Fix is all about. That's what Cynthia's book's about. Please go grab Cynthia's book. It's inspirational. Go grab my book. It's called the 40-Day Fix.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a book to show you. I have given them all away. Next one, I'll try and make sure I'm ordering some more. I'll try and make sure it's on Amazon. It sounds like it's just a weight loss story, but it is really a story about survival and how to undo what life has done to you to be who you want to be.
It's called The Battle Within, and you can get it right there in that QR code. It's a great book. I actually have a copy, but I didn't get it home to my podcast studio in time to get it out. So it's just this book right here. But thank you guys so much for watching. And before you're done, also, Cynthia, yes. I'm going to put your Instagram handle on the bottom. And if anybody wants those 4 bars, contact her. She said something about 4 bars. I didn't give her a time to answer that because I wanted you guys to connect her. If you want her 4 bars, I guarantee they're good. I probably had them myself, but connect with her. She'll tell you those 4 bars, and please get it. But show notes below, my Instagram handle, where you get on my book, where you get her book, all the other information you need. Plus, watch this subscribe it, share it with someone who might need it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Don't forget to comment and tell us what you'd like us to talk about next time.
There you go.